All right, I'm gonna run through the FAANG stocks real quick, kind of see if we can find some areas of interest, some places to maybe get involved here. Oh, that is the daily? I thought that was the weekly. Okay, Facebook, Apple. Saw such heavy selling on Friday towards the close. It's making me think that this coming week is going to be a down week, especially with the Fed meeting about to take place. Let's remove this one. We'll come in right here. Say if we get through here, get down into this range, might be interested in taking like a bounce play potentially. But as you can see, like if we, actually, you know what? Even lower yet, really. Down into this range where all this volume is, I would be willing to maybe step up to the plate for a bounce. Maybe off the 50 weekly here though. Let's see where it falls on the daily once I swap over. But yeah, if we fail here, I wouldn't be surprised if we come back down into here. But with all this volume through here, maybe we'll get a, come into this like mid low 150s, maybe even upper 140s, and then get a bounce. Come back into like this range, kind of like it did when it bounced around here. Because there's so much support down here. So if we do break down, I'd almost guarantee we get a bounce by the time it's in here. There's so much volume done through there. Let's take a look at this on the daily. How's that look? And of course, kind of like I mentioned yesterday, it's like any of these areas to get involved is not, I really would not have conviction in holding it very long. It'd be like grab some, if it bounces, be scaling out pretty quickly. Because I'd imagine if we do get another bounce, it does not crest this region. Maybe we get a bounce up into here and sell off again. But we do have a Fed meeting this week. I believe Wednesday is the day. I should Google that. I should probably know that already. Ideally. But yeah, not a lot of volume right here on the 1 day, 1 year. It didn't look too bad on the weekly, but on the daily here, you can see like if we open weak, which futures are kind of treading sideways. Futures opened like 45 minutes ago from when I'm recording this. I got them on my top monitor right now. I think I can show that. Yeah. So like right behind my head is the Nasdaq and the S&P trading. So this is where we closed Friday right in here, and then we just started. All right, let's move it along. That semiconductor one I recorded yesterday took a lot longer than I thought it was going to. Semiconductor has a lot more names, though, too. Jesus Christ, Amazon got slaughtered. I I can't even. I mean, I'm gonna move this for now, but on Amazon, these zones have no relevance at all with how crazy this got hit, how heavy this got gapped down. I'm yeah, fuck that. I'm just gonna remove a few of these so it's not so convoluted, and then actually, you know what? I'm gonna straight up just remove all of them for Amazon, and I don't even know what to think. To look at it on the weekly, yeah, that's just this big powerful base. Obviously, in a bull market, if we were still in a bull market, you'd see a nice powerful move off of such a like a nice steady base like that, but it broke down and broke down in a big way. I wouldn't be surprised if Amazon ends up coming into the $2,000 range. Maybe somewhere between 2,300, 2,000 and 2,300. Would not surprise me a bit. Obviously, I don't think it's going to go there in a straight line. It might, but with that kind of an earnings drop, Jesus, inflation must be hitting them hard. From 27.75 last quarter to minus almost like a little over $7.50. But they do have that stock split coming, and that can be, that can be good for trading, because then you have more people that can actively trade that stock, giving it more liquidity, and boosting it as like a trader's stock as opposed to just an investment stock. Futures aren't doing anything crazy though, so maybe we'll see a calm couple days into the Fed meeting. Amazon, let's go. Netflix, which has also been getting straight up wrecked. Same thing on this one. I'm not even going to make any zones on this because there's no, I mean, it had this little bear flag through here on the weekly, and there was some relevancy to some supply and demand kind of zones, looking at some areas to get involved, but right now there's just no reason to draw any conclusions on this thing at the moment. They must have issued weak guidance or something, because their earnings came back up to, in line. But I guess at the same time, this has been for a decade a growth stock. And the fact of the matter is, it's not seeing growth anymore. It's plateauing, and when something plateaus, it's time to get out, generally. So we'll see where it settles. It's going to need a couple weeks, I think, for me to even want to look at it again. Google coming into its 100-day moving average. That's kind of an interesting area, honestly. I think with the rest of the market looking so trash, it'll probably get drugged down as well. I'd be interested somewhere in here, maybe. Somewhere in here. I'm just going to set an alert on it. I'm not going to draw. This is going to be a short video. It's really short compared to the one the other day, because a lot of these are just in such places that it doesn't make much sense to draw any conclusions with how we saw last week end. Now let's go. Microsoft. Microsoft doesn't look bad. Huh. Okay. I think that's a lot of optimism on their cloud business. Okay. It's definitely a lot more orderly than some of the other ones. Like Microsoft isn't giving you those big scares. It didn't get hammered quite like a couple of the other names did. What do we want next? Let's go Baba. Even though I don't really watch the Chinese names all that much, but they are a part of the NYFNG FANG index. So I do kind of keep tabs on them, but I never really trade them. Some crazy volume. That's not what I want. This looks like it wants to go lower. So does this. China names got a little pop at some point last week. Something about tech regulations in China being more favorable to business. Man, talk about a crazy move. Jesus, fuck. Video I did yesterday, but let's take another quick peek. Kind of looks like it wants to go lower too, but man, it is on that 100-day. So, like I was saying, there's a number of these chip makers that look like they're ripe for a bit of a reprieve in the selling. Maybe not a sustained bounce, but a bounce to some degree. Because look at all these weeks of selling. Jesus. Nvidia and Tesla. All right. Not a lot to say. Not a lot to say on these. So I'll leave it at that. You know, there's the volume is, I don't know. The chip makers were definitely more had more interesting stuff going on, whereas Tesla and some of these other names are in an area that I don't really want to be involved. It's not high enough for me to want to short it. It's not low enough for me to want to buy it. So that being said, that's going to be it for this one.